Hello, everybody. We're celebrating behind the mic. Gary Laubach, Mike Joseph. I want one for the thumb. We've got 4 of the fingers covered. We got the other one covered on Saturday afternoon when we knocked off Lehigh in a great win, 35-0 in the second half, 49-21 overall. Mike, let's get some of the accolades out of the way that have occurred in the last few days. Coach Trox now is a finalist for the Eddie Robinson National Coach of the Year. Jalen Joseph named on the list for the Jerry Rice Award, top freshman in the country. Dean DeNoble, Patriot League Offensive Player of the Week and the MVP of the Lafayette-Lehigh game. Jack Simonetta, Special Teams Player of the Week. He was 7 for 7 in PATs. That's not a bad haul for a season and a ball game.
Not at all. I'm trying to get over the bling on your hand right here. Exactly.
I'm not showing off.
But, you know, it's funny because exactly what Trox talked about in the beginning of the year was do your job one game at a time, keep moving forward, and then all the accolades will come at the end. You don't even have to worry about it. So you reap the benefits when you put in the work, and they've done that, and it's amazing. You know, Coach Russo won the Eddie Robinson Award way back in the 80s. Phenomenal year. Frank was nominated. So just to be nominated, I'm sure John would tell you, is great, but he's got a good shot at that as well. And some of the accolades coming for DeNoble and obviously Simonetta and Jalen Joseph has been great.
Yeah, it obviously has been a highly successful season as we will go into the FCS Playoffs with a 9-2 record, 5-1 overall in the Patriot League, co-Patriot League champions. I'm not going to use the word co very often anymore. As we take a look at Delaware, this is the 26th time we've played them. Our record's not very good, 21-7. They've beaten us 17 in a row. A head coach we haven't faced, and Ryan Carty, he's only been there for a couple of years. They have now qualified for the 19th time for the FCS playoffs. So they're no stranger here. They obviously sort of expect it every single season.
Yeah, they're a dominant team in the CAA, and to be that good in the CAA is saying something because I think it's the strongest league top to bottom in the entire country, and obviously Carty has done a good job there. He's picked up where the rest of the other coaches have left off. And they have 2 very familiar coaches to us, and Manny Rojas and Art Link on that staff as well. So they know Lafayette. They know how hard we're going to play. They're going to get across to their kids that you can't take this game lightly. This is a team that's going to come in here, and offensively we've been good. So I expect us to be able to move the ball offensively, and I expect Delaware to try to do the same with their explosive offense.
Yeah, as you look at their schedule, it's kind of very similar to ours. As Mike pointed out, they lost to Penn State as we lost to Duke, and then they went on and lost to Eline. That was a bit of an upset exactly the same week that Colgate beat us. The big difference is they got beat by Villanova this past week, 35-7. This is a team that's a little bit in trouble, though, offensively, particularly at quarterback. They've used 4 guys this year, but it looks like their top 2 might not be available.
Yeah, it's kind of a question mark. I know Marker went out of the game. I hear that's a season-ending injury. They lost one of their offensive guards, who's a huge guy. And then you look at the other quarterbacks that came in. Minakuchi is a freshman, and he did a pretty good job, but he did throw a couple of picks. O'Connor was their quarterback for most of the year. I've watched about 5 of their games. He's very reliable. He throws an accurate ball, does a good job, but I heard he was on the bike for the whole second half of the Villanova game, so you can see they couldn't keep pace with the Villanova offense, losing 37-7. They couldn't keep pace offensively, so the question is, do we see the freshman? Do we see the senior try to go? I would expect we're going to probably see the senior try to go. But explosiveness offensively, you want to talk about a team that may even be much better than a Fordham team. This team can run up and down the field. They have so much speed offensively, you got to try to find a way to bottle them up.
Yeah, if they have a concern about their quarterback, they have no concern at all about their running back. Marcus Yarns, 5'11", 183-pound senior. He is kind of spectacular. He's on the spectacular list.
He is. He's just explosive, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. And he runs with more power than you think. He looks like kind of a lean guy that can really obviously has great speed to get through the hole and finish runs. And then you look at Bermudez on the outside, Towson. And they just have so many guys that can make plays offensively. But the question is, do they have a quarterback to spread the football around? They also have a great tight end in Bros. Boy, is he good. He reminds me, they love to use him in the red zone. So they're going to try to obviously, it's not this old wing T type of offense that Tubby Raymond had. This is a team that wants to get the ball down the field, and they do it well.
They certainly do that, and as Mike mentioned, their receiving core is very, very solid. They actually have 7 guys with 11-plus yards catching the football, yards per catch. Defensively, Their linebackers are outstanding. Most teams have outstanding linebackers. Jackson Taylor, Dylan Traynor, 57 tackles, 97 tackles for Jackson Taylor. And they've got a good defensive back in Ty Davis. He has a couple of interceptions, 43 tackles on the year. It's a solid football team. Overwhelming? I'm not so sure.
Not the way we've kind of seen them in the past. And this is a defense I think we can move the football on. I definitely do. Now, Taylor's terrific. He runs around like crazy. He's one of the best in their league, does a great job. The thing that concerns me a little bit is they have 20 takeaways. And they take the football away, and they're opportunistic. When they do take it away, they either run it back for a touchdown, they score, they set up their offense well. So they play very complimentary football on defense. But I've watched 5 or 6 games so far. I thought Duquesne did a great job running the ball. I thought Towson got down early because they turned the ball over 5 of their first 6 possessions. But I thought they ran the ball well. Elon ran the ball extremely well against them. And then obviously Nova put it to them on the ground. So I think we should be able to run the football, spread them out a little bit. They do run that 3-4/4-3 defense. But, Jamar can find those holes. This is going to be a fast track down at Delaware. But I expect us to be able to run the football, run some play action, and then maybe get our quarterback out of the pocket so he's not a stationary target.
It looks like the weather will be good for football and not so good in the next, obviously leading into Thanksgiving. But after that, it should be just fine. They average 32 points a ball game, 422 yards per game. Both of those are in the top 20 in the FCS. Their defense gives up 21 points per ball game. As Mike mentioned, they turned the ball over for the offense. 12 interceptions they have acquired this year. They've recovered 8 fumbles. All right, let's take a look at Lafayette. They're averaging almost 30 points a game, almost 200 yards rushing, 170 yards in the air for 366 yards. Defensively, they give up 22 points per ball game, 115 yards rushing. The great win over Lehigh, however, has to catapult us confidence-wise. And I've said all year, I think the Duke game really also did the same thing. But what a game by Dean DeNoble. What a game by Jamar Curtis. What a game by our defense in the second half.
Yeah, it's the second time that we scored 35 points in a half. Again, we did that back against Bucknell when we blew them out and then did it here in the second half. But I'm more excited about the way that team stayed together in the locker room. Down 21-14, you and I were kind of looking at each other and we were wondering, can this team now put it together in the second half? And they did nothing short of spectacular. And the Sekou White interception was massive. And then you go back, obviously, to the Reggie Thomas fumble and the recovery by Darian Riley, turned into points. The Sekou White interception turned into points. The fumble on the kickoff that Kente Edwards caused turned into points. I mean, we finished every one of those drives, and we put it to bed. And I was so happy that they played their best half, I thought, of football in the last game of the season.
In the booth at halftime, Mike and I looked at each other and talked about how important the first possession by Lehigh would be. And we both looked at each other and said, yeah, we just need a turnover. We got that from Sekou White, and then it was Katie barred the door from that point on. We go into any football game after having played Duke, and we pretty much have to have the mindset we're not going to play anybody better than that. And I thought we didn't win that ball game, and in fact we lost 42-7. But I thought that game was closer than that. And I think that ball game also gave our kids enough confidence to know we're probably not going to see anybody better than that.
That's true. And I thought the first half, the first probably 25 minutes of that game, Lafayette was right there. 21-7. They had a bad call on that first down. Could have been 21-14 at half. Again, not saying they're going to win that football game, but I think it gave them the confidence to understand, okay, we're not going to see a better D-line. We're not going to see better skill kids. Right. These kids at Delaware are, I'm telling you, they are really good offensively, so we're going to have to keep them in front of us, similar to what we did against Fordham, and not give up the big play over the top. If we can do that, Lafayette should be right there, and I think their confidence is as high as you talked about.
We've yet to win an FCS game. We've been in this game 4 times. We have not won any of them, but we certainly showed well in 3 of the 4, actually. So what's your take here? How do we win this game?
Well, the keys that I'm going to talk about in Inside the Huddle is, number one, you got to run the football. So we got to keep the ball out of their hands. We've got to be successful. How do we do that? Do we do it with the double tight end, the 21 personnel? I think that might be tough. I'm thinking spread them out, run the football, give Jamar as much room as he can. Get the ball on the perimeter type of thing. So, again, being able to run the football, control the pace. Control the pace and the tempo, similar to what they did against Duke and what they did against Fordham. They kept Fordham's offense off the field by controlling pace, getting to the line of scrimmage with 15 seconds, pre-snap read, snapping the ball when you want to, running the clock, obviously, and then when you get a first down, pick up the tempo. Now you can go. Get some confidence going. So pace and tempo. And then last thing, I don't think we can sit stationary at 5 to 7 yards or 3 yards with our quarterback. I think we have to get him out of the pocket. He's got the legs to do that. Get him on some design rollouts, some bootlegs, things like that, where we can get him out in space, have him have the two-way go. Either run it or dump it off. We certainly got players like Elijah Stewart. Is, in my mind, one of the top 3 receivers in our league, can compete on any level. He's a great one. Caracia can take you over the top. The tight ends are involved. Jamar on the ball, getting him. Just so many things we can do. So control the pace and tempo, get him out of the pocket a little bit on some design rolls, run the football with Jamar.
That sounds like a pretty good formula. If you cannot get to Tubby Raymond Stadium in Newark, Delaware, for a 2 o'clock kickoff, the game will be on ESPN+, so you have a chance to watch that football game. Maybe we'll be back next week as the team might be headed to Montana. We have to wait and see what they do on Saturday afternoon. It's been a pleasure again for Mike and myself. Thanks for watching Behind the Mic.